I'm Brett, and I've developed a new, simple, modern spiritual philosophy. And in this series of videos, I'd like to tell you all about it. So stay tuned, and if you like what you're hearing, tell other people about it, comment, ask me questions, and we'll go forward from there. Thank you very much. Hi, and welcome to You Know Yourself with me, Brett. And this is one of the episodes where I'm going to be addressing potential vulnerabilities within You Know Yourself, which the core concepts of which are all laid out in previous videos. But just to be clear, the core concepts are essentially, I've given a definition of body, mind, soul, and spirit, what they are, what they do, how we can exercise them to keep them strong. Not in detail, but just in a sort of rough picture. And the other core concept within You Know Yourself is something that I'm calling the cycle of disempowerment, which is how the leader-follower structure disempowers people. Again, go and check that out. Some of the previous videos. There's a summary video which puts some of it together if you haven't seen the previous one, and there's detailed videos on. There's one video for the whole of body, mind, soul, and spirit, and then there's detailed videos on the stages of the cycle of disempowerment. There's only 5 stages. Leaders exist. They offer you the cure to the situation. They implement that cure. All those they implement it through institutes and concepts. All those institutes and concepts have certain implications. All those implications create the 3 critical mass paradigms of not enough, the other, and fixed finite, which everybody suffers from. Suffering from those, we have symptoms of the suffering from feeling that we're not enough, that the other's more important, that it's always going to be this way, that it's fixed finite. And so suffering those symptoms, we go looking for a cure and find more leaders saying, hi, I've got the cure. And it's a big cycle that we move around in. And we might be at different stages of it at the same time, depending on what leader we're turning towards and what cure we're becoming dependent on. And essentially what I'm saying in You Know Yourself is, if you exercise your body, mind, soul, and spirit, I might individually suffer less from the symptoms created by the cycle of disempowerment. And I'm also saying, and the implication that, see, I'm making certain implications. Maybe I need to say outright, I'm not trying to position myself as another leader for you to follow, because the cycle of disempowerment tells you having leaders that you become dependent on makes you disempowered, and therefore makes you need more leaders to tell you what to do, because you're disempowered. And that's the subject of today's video, is despite the fact that I'm saying I'm not offering a cure, I'm not positioning myself as a leader, I'm not putting myself in that, I'm not putting myself at that top position trying to tell you lot you need to do what I say, because then I'm just joining the creation of the cycle of disempowerment. No, I'm not doing that. But am I, though? Am I doing that? And it's a challenging one, because if I am doing that, then I am just contributing to the cycle of disempowerment. So the question is, the proposition being put forward is, am I? And again, I'm looking over here because I've got some prompts over here. Am I positioning myself as a leader and offering a cure to to the situation of leaders and their cures disempowering you? Am I becoming just another one of those? I mean, first of all, you'd have to accept the proposition that leaders who present an all-encompassing cure then disempower their followers through the mechanism that I've described. So that's the first proposition you have to deal with. I think that is what happens. Oh, my lights have gone out because I haven't moved enough. There you go. So perhaps the question is, does it offer a cure? Or perhaps a more detailed question is, what sort of cure does it offer? Perhaps that's me just trying to get around it. I don't know, trying to intellectualize it and sort of go, oh, well, you know, let's give a clear distinction here. And all that is me just BSing and sort of getting around it a little bit. Is it offering a cure? So let's see if we can sort of sharpen this a little bit. If I'm the one defining the problem, and if I'm the one handling you or identifying the tools for dealing with that problem, what is the difference between me and any other so-called leader or any other person offering you the cure? Because there is an implication there, and I'm saying, here's a problem, here's a way of potentially resolving some of that problem. That's the same thing that I've identified with the leaders. All the leaders, every single leader is there going, you know, society's problems, you know, your problems, you know, all the problems that exist. I've got a cure for that. Just do what I tell you to do, and it will go. All the spiritual gurus, all the social philosophers, all the spiritual philosophers, all the self-help sphere, all the political sphere, all the economists, everyone's got their area of expertise where they're saying, I've got the cure. Do it this way. If only you would do it this way, then it would be fixed. This specific thing you're coming to me with will be fixed if you do what I say. Am I joining those lot? Well, if so the propositions for why I am joining that is because if I've identified what the problem is, and I've identified, or I believe I've identified, the tools that might help you with that problem, then in some respects, yes, I am saying, so therefore go and do it and do what I say, and you'll be fixed and everything will be fine and it'll all be all right. And I can either try and deny that, or I can just sort of acknowledge that, as much as I don't want to, because I don't want to be part of the cycle of disempowerment. There is an element of me sitting above everyone going, if only you could see this, if only you could see what the problem is. Gosh, come on, people, wake up. Another proposition put forward as to why I'm in that position of leadership is because these are my interpretations. I'm putting them forward. I'm saying, if only you could see it like I say, if only you could see it like I see it. Why can't you see it like I can see it? There must be something defective in what you're doing. You're not doing it right. I'm just looking down at the timing of this. Oh, there's the timing. Okay. If only you could understand in the same way that I do, which is very much a leader proposition, very much a leader position that they're putting themselves in. I have the answer and you don't. That's one of the things I'm saying. And there is also the reality that I am publishing this. You are only watching this. You're only able to hear me have this dialogue, have this thought out, this outward expression of my thinking, because I've chosen to create this and publish it and put it out there. I haven't decided. I haven't written down my thought processes and gone, oh, well, okay, that's great. Now I understand that a little bit better because I've written it down. So I'll just go about my life. I've done that and then decided to put it out there. So, as discussed in previous videos, there's a sort of, there's an element of, is there an element of superiority, of narcissism? Is there an element of, I know something you don't know and here it is? Yeah, of course there is. I can't deny that. If I was to deny that, then I'm pushing something away that actually exists. It actually exists, that I have put down my thought processes and then sent it out into the world. Now let's look at the other point of views. Let's look at the, well, maybe it's not like that. I hopefully at some point, and if I haven't said it before, I'm certainly saying it now. I am saying, whatever I'm putting forward, please go out and test it for yourself. Please put it through your own mental processing, your own understanding, and see what comes out the other end. Please go and verify it for yourself. Please test what I am saying. Please. Please, because I have faith that every single person has the ability to test these ideas. And please go and test them, because you might come back to me with something that I haven't thought of and that needs adjusting or grappling with, for which I would be very grateful. Hopefully, I've also put forward something that reminds you of the power that you have within yourself. Okay, I'm not asking you to come and follow me and be reliant on me. I am trying to put forward, or I have created something which retrospectively I looked at and went, oh yeah, this is why humans are capable. So the body, mind, soul, spirit stuff is me trying to say to you, you have the most amazing tools available to you, which, if you exercise them, could bring about the most amazing outcomes. The cycle of disempowerment is why you're not used to the idea of exercising your body, mind, soul, and spirit. The cycle of disempowerment that you were born into, that you had no other option about, because, like I've said, you don't live in a society where over the hill there's a completely different sort of society that has a completely different structure to it, that you could choose to go and live in if you wanted to. One town might appear slightly different to another, but it's all the same NHS system here in the UK. It's all the same police system. It's all the same political system. Although we have absolute choice, ultimately, in terms of the society that we live in, we don't appear to have any choice, unless you really make a strong decision to go out and live in the forests of your own accord. And even then, somebody might turn up and go, well, this isn't actually your land. Highly questionable. If you're just listening to this, I've got air quotes going on, because that's a whole different conversation about who actually owns the land, but we won't get into that right now. It's been purposely made very challenging for somebody to make the decision to live outside of the society or live in a different type of society. That's the cycle of disempowerment. And that's the reason that cycle of disempowerment, the leader-follower paradigm, institutes, implications, 3 critical mass paradigms, the symptoms that we suffer from the 3 critical mass paradigms, straight back to looking for another leader to free us from those symptoms. That is what has meant humans are not experienced in and practiced in exercising their body, mind, soul, and spirit. The 4 elements that are incredible and that can bring about many different outcomes. I'm putting forward the suggestion that you could exercise those 4 amazing elements and be more functional in them. And that's it. Which leads on to the next point. So I'm saying you have the power, not me. You have the power. And then further to that, the next point is you have the power to exercise your body, mind, soul, and spirit. What happens when you have a strong and functioning body, mind, soul, and spirit is yours. The outcomes of exercising your body, mind, soul, and spirit is yours to choose. And I'm using that word choice, choose, very carefully, because the ability to choose, the ability to make a choice, is what I define as the function and purpose of the human spirit. Okay, all these convoluted ideas about spiritual hierarchies and angels and archangels and crystals and meditation and protocols on this and cold plunges, etc., etc., etc. They are to some extent commercialized versions of self-help and self-development. Your spirit is your ability to make a choice. Making choices is spiritual. We are not practiced at making choices because the cycle of disempowerment decreases the choices that we make because it does everything for us. We'll tell you how to be educated. We'll tell you how to look after yourself physically. We'll tell you how to exist in society through the police system, etc., etc., etc. Everywhere you turn, there's an answer. The leader presents an answer. Do this, and then you'll be this. I'm not saying that. I'm saying exercise your functions as a human being, then you can make any choice you want to exist and live in any way you want. It would be a challenge because society is still set up this way. So I get that. Perhaps what I'm saying, perhaps one of the things I'm proposing is exercise the functions and abilities that you have as a human being, and you might suffer less from the patterns that you're stuck in because you might be able to make conscious, clear choices. And the reason we have so many patterns that we're all stuck in, ranging from the emotional issues that we're stuck in through to the thought processes and thought patterns that we're stuck in, through to the physical patterns of that we're stuck in. The reason we have those is because the cycle of disempowerment perpetuates them. It perpetuates the idea of Don't think, don't analyze, don't critically critique what's being put forward. Just keep doing the same thing over and over again. Okay, which is why we keep getting the same results over and over again. People are not physically fit, they're not intellectually fit, they're not feeling their own feelings, using their soul, they're not breaking free of patterns and making choices and conscious choices, because the cycle of disempowerment keeps them locked in those patterns. It's that simple. I am not telling you what you would do, what you would think, what you would feel, and what choices to make when you've exercised your body, mind, soul, and spirit. I'm not telling you what you would look like, or what it would be like, or what the outcome would be for you when you have finished, or when you have strengthened, and when you use, because it's never finished, it's an ongoing process, it's a moment to moment ongoing process of exercising and strengthening your body, mind, soul, and spirit. I'm not telling you what that's going to look like and what sort of being, what sort of human being you will be at the end of that. That's one of the arguments against why I'm not positioning myself as a leader. A leader will tell you, do these things I'm telling you to do, and then you will be this type of person, or you'll be free of this or free of that. It's the whole self-help, the whole spirituality, the whole of politics, the whole of economics. Economics says do this and the financial system will be like this. Politics says live this way and then that will create a better society. Self-help says follow these protocols and then you'll be free of this, that, and the other. Spirituality says do these protocols, then you will be spiritually enlightened. All of which means you end up dependent on the person telling you what it is to do. I don't have an outcome that you're supposed to achieve. I don't have an outcome that you can feel shame about not achieving. I don't have an outcome that you can get to and then go, I've done it, I've succeeded. I'm telling you there's an ongoing process of exercising the functionality that you have as a human being, which at the moment, through any leader paradigm that is created, any leader paradigm, through the mechanism that I've described, the ability to exercise your functioning elements is not always explored or celebrated or even put forward. You are disempowered because the leader follower paradigm doesn't propose the idea of you exercising your four elements and empowering yourself to grow and develop. That doesn't mean, okay, so at the same time, I want to make it really clear. That doesn't mean you just steam on ahead and don't listen to other people, or don't seek help or advice. Very far from it. It is seeking help and advice is not you becoming dependent. There's a difference between becoming dependent on a leader, and there's a difference between that and you being able to, being able to use a leader and critically examine the answer that's being given and apply the answer when it's applicable and not apply the answer when it's not applicable. I'm absolutely not talking about the idea of just disregard all human information and all human data and all human experience and just forge ahead on your own without any input from anybody else. Unlike, dare I say, the leaders will tell you, and as I say, I'm talking about every different type of leader, from the spiritual guru to the prime minister. They will always say, no, 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 only I have the answer. You don't need to go seek the answer anywhere else. No, I have the answer. That's it. That's it. Don't go looking. You can only serve one master. You only need one leader. I've got the answer. I'm saying we have the whole of human information and human data available to us. And yet we're all getting really, because of the cycle of disempowerment, we're stuck in just one idea. We're stuck in singular thinking. And we're not empowered to critically analyze the information that's given forward to us, and to put it through our own thinking process, and to verify it through our own experience. We don't verify it through our own experience. My gosh, and I am definitely saying to you, if what you've heard from You Know Yourself is interesting to you, go and verify it through your own experience. Ask yourself. That's why it's called You Know Yourself. That's why it's called that. If it sounds interesting to you that your body is the tool for doing, that your mind is the tool for understanding, that your soul is the tool for feeling your own feelings, and that your spirit is your tool for choosing, and that there are things that we can do to exercise those, if that sounds interesting to you, go and verify it for yourself. And verify your own experience of it, and see what that does for you. I don't know what it will do for you. I don't know. I don't know what you will come up with. I don't know what you will do with an exercised, strong, functioning body, mind, soul, and spirit. That's for you to decide. It's not. I don't have an outcome of what I think you should be at the end of it. Yeah. So, what's the resolve, if there is a resolve? In some respects, You Know Yourself is a kind of cure that I'm putting forward. Of course it is. There are elements of me trying to say that, hey, listen, everyone, I've got an idea. Is it a prescribed cure? Is it a descriptive cure with a fixed outcome at the end of it? No, it's not. No. Is it a cure that requires you to be dependent on me so you can get to the next level and you can be even better? No, it's not. No, it's not like that. Is it a cure which means I can constantly remain as the leader because I've always got some little bit of extra information that you don't know that stops you from coming up to my level? Absolutely not. No, I've given you everything that I've got, and if, like, so I very much believe in this Taoist idea, or a translation of the Do Dai Jing that I read, and one of the passages was translated in this particular way. It said, as part of the particular stance, I can't remember which number it was, but it says, the greatest master is not the one with the most followers. The greatest master is the one who's created the most other masters. And I love that idea. And it's amazing. That's 2,500 years old, and we still haven't learned from that. How many spiritual gurus can say, yeah, I have some followers, but these guys over here are on the same level as me. In fact, some of them know more than me now and are further along than me. How many martial arts masters can say, yeah, I'm 7th Dan, and there's a whole bunch of other 7th Dans? How many self-help people, self-made gurus are out there going, well, these are the answers that I've got for you. Do these protocols, and or follow or check out the work of these other people that have done this same work and have got to this same level as me, and in fact are going on further than me. How many prime ministers are training up other people to be a prime minister as well? How many presidents are training up? How many CEOs of businesses are training up other people to be either the CEO of that business or to go out and be the CEO of other businesses? Maybe there is some people out there doing that, but it's not a very common concept. Everyone's trying to get to their position of leader and power and stay there and keep everyone just a little bit below them. That is absolutely not my goal. As much as my ego and narcissism would love to have a bunch of followers, even I can't get around the idea of like, oh my gosh, I haven't explained this very well. That's not the point. That's not the point of this at all. The point is you all have an amazing power to go out and be empowered. And the reason you haven't been used to exercising that is because of the cycle of disempowerment. Now go and do something with that if you want. If you don't want to. Am I offering a cure? If you think you need a cure, maybe. If you read the cycle of disempowerment and go, oh my gosh, yeah, there's really something in that, then I'm proposing for you to think of for yourself, for you to examine yourself. Perhaps you have these amazing elements that you can exercise, and through the exercising of your body, mind, soul, and spirit, you might free yourself a little bit from some of the symptoms created by the cycle of disempowerment. So yeah, I think the resolve, I think where I'm at with that is that whether I like it or not, there is some element of leader and offering a cure. Is it a disempowering cure? That's not. I don't think it is. No, I don't think it is. What I'm ultimately trying to say is you have everything you need. You haven't been exercising it and using it because the cycle of disempowerment has not promoted that in any way. You become so used to not using it that you don't even know that it exists. You don't even know that it's there. And it doesn't take breaking out the cycle of disempowerment to know that it's there. It might just take somebody reminding you. You do know that you have the ability to choose, right? You do know that you have the ability to feel your own feelings. You do know that you have your own ability to understand. And you do know that all this information that's being presented to you, you are allowed to critique it and put it through your own thinking processes. And you are allowed to feel for yourself how it actually makes you feel. And you are allowed to educate yourself on other things that are not presented to you through normal streams of information. You are allowed to do that. You are allowed to do things. You are allowed to critique the norm. It's okay to do that. And you might critique the norm and come up with the response of, I'm perfectly happy with what I've got, thank you. Sweet. That is entirely up to you. You do whatever you want. I have critiqued the norm and gone, really, wars, suffering, poverty, famine, that's the best we got, is it? That's it, is it? That's what we're doing as a so-called evolved, intelligent society. I'm not impressed. I'm not impressed. I don't think this is acceptable. I don't think it's good enough. I don't think it's good enough. Yeah. So am I offering a cure? To an extent, yes. Whether I like it or not. Is it a come and follow me and be dependent on me cure? Absolutely not. No, the objective of this is for you to... not the objective. The possibility of this. There was never an objective with it. I was just writing and writing. The possibility of this is that you take on board what I've said, you critique it yourself, and you decide what you want to do with it. It's entirely up to you. I've got no end game for you at all. That's for you to decide and work out. Thank you very much for joining me. As always, think about it yourself. Keep it real. See you all later, everyone. Bye-bye.